Dhanande Y. Chandrachud, Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaur, Judge Supreme Court of India and Executive Chairman, NALSA, Shri Arjun Ram Meghwal, Honorable Minister of State for Law and Justice, Independent Charge, Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjeev Khanna, Judge Supreme Court of India and Chairman, Supreme Court Legal Services Committee, Shri Amitabh Kant, India G20 Sherpa, we are proud of him. For the entire year, things were managed seamlessly. Where there were many fault lines, he could overcome them all. Shri R. Venkatramani, Attorney General of India, Shri Tushar Mehta, Solicitor General of India, Shri Adish Agarwal, President of the Supreme Court Bar of Association. I happen to be its member for long. Honorable audience, we have in this house two honorable members of Rajya Sabha, Shri Vivek Dhankhar and Shri K. Ravindra Kumar. Shri S.K.G. Rathi, Secretary, Department of Justice. Distinguished guests, legal luminaries, policy makers, and committed individuals. It is an absolute privilege to be part of the first regional conference on ensuring access to quality legal aid for the vulnerable, challenges and opportunities in the global south. The theme of this conference captures the essence of our collective endeavor and objective. Convergence of stakeholders to deliberate on these momentous issues of contemporaneous relevance, especially for global south, is apt and timely. In a sense, theme of the conference complements the visionary steps taken by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi for global south. During India's presidency of the G20 in 2023 this year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi emerged as a leading voice for the global south, advocating for the interests of developing nations on the world stage, very impactfully and very productively. Prime Minister Modi championed issues such as climate change, sustainable development, digital transformation, and also emphasizing the need for inclusive and equitable solutions that address the unique challenges faced by developing countries, including global south. This conference, organized by NALSA, together with International Legal Foundation, the UNDP, the UNICEF, presents a unique opportunity and platform to forge a collective path towards ensuring access to justice for all, a basic human right that has long been a cornerstone of equitable and just societies. Chief Justice Chandrachud is passionately in mission mode to secure, particularly for the marginalized sections, availability of legal aid and access to justice with ease. Chief Justice Chandrachud has initiated in last 1 year series of affirmative steps, innovative steps that are people-centric, litigant-centric, and those steps have turned out to be game changer in bolstering both legal aid and easy access to justice system by vulnerable segments of the society. The upcoming roundtable conference, to which the Honorable Chief Justice made a reference a while ago, under his leadership, I am sure promises to be a fruitful endeavor. His innovative approach to employment of technology in justice delivery has been transformative, and I am confident that this august group would get valuable insights and enormously benefit. Friends, today we stand at a critical juncture in the pursuit of justice and justice for all. Undoubtedly, access to legal aid and justice system is quintessential to nurturing and blossoming of fundamental human values and fostering equitable societies. Evolution of such an ecosystem will nurture global order and welfare of humanity. The resounding declaration in the preamble of Indian Constitution, I quote, "We the people of India," unquote, reflects the essence and spirit of an inclusive document aimed at safeguarding the rights of every citizen, regardless of background, circumstances, or social standing. Our Constitution, friends, enshrines the principles of equality before the law and equal protection of law. These provisions serve as inalienable facets, the bedrock of a just and equitable society. Prescription in Article 32 of the Constitution, the right of every individual in the country that is home to 1/6 of humanity, to move the Supreme Court for the enforcement of fundamental rights. This was eloquently reflected by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as the soul of the Constitution. For over 3 decades, NALSA has stood as a beacon of inclusive and affordable legal aid for India's marginalized communities. If I relate to you its success on ground, it is very impactful, dotting every part of the country. NALSA's numerous initiatives have secured ease of justice, bridging the gap between legal services and those in need thereof. Particularly through over 5 million tele-law consultations, demonstrating its dedication to leveraging technology for justice accessibility. Under Justice Kaul's leadership, NALSA tirelessly strives to create a society where justice is a fundamental right available to all with ease and impact. NALSA model of justice delivery is worth emulation by nations of Global South. Friends, the Indian Parliament, of which I am part, by virtue of being chairman of the Rajya Sabha, in its unwavering commitment to translating the constitutional promise into tangible realities, has embarked on a journey of legal reform, promoting mediation, repealing archaic laws that hinder progress, and enacting new laws that address contemporary challenges. India's civilizational ethos, deeply rooted in the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one planet, has shaped its foreign policy and its interactions with the Global South. India is consistently taking a stand as a torchbearer and crusader for rights and aspirations of all nations, particularly the young and newly independent countries of the Global South. This commitment is evident in India's leadership of the non-alignment movement, its unwavering demand for reform in the United Nations Security Council, and its instrumental role in the recent inclusion of the African Union in the G20. The Global South, encompassing a diverse landscape of nations, faces unique challenges in ensuring access to quality legal aid. Poverty, geographic remoteness, cultural barriers, and a complex legal system often create insurmountable obstacles for those seeking justice. Yet, amidst these challenges, there lies an abundance of opportunities to advance the cause of legal aid. This conference for sure will deliberate on this ensuring light at the end of the tunnel for the needy. Going by the discourse I have seen today, going by the deliberations and the scope you will have, I have no doubt the tunnel will end soon and there will be bright sunshine for all to the extent availability to justice system and legal aid is concerned. Friends, as the Global South embarks on its journey towards a brighter future, it is imperative to shed shackles of its colonial past and strive together to reverse the historical wrongs that have perpetuated injustice and inequality. This, as a matter of fact, friends, is a common thread. The legacy of colonial legal regime has been highly burdensome to the vulnerable sections of the society in these countries. By very nature, that was aimed to be extremely harsh and oppressive, exploitative for the local populace. Time has come to follow India's example and emulate the same. As sovereign nations, the Global South nations should consider reviewing old colonial laws and perpetuate prejudice against local populations. Our country is in the process, and the legislations are under consideration of the Parliament that will bring about sea change in our outlook and totally contain, curb, and decimate those exploitative provisions in procedure and penology. Sharing of best practices, fostering collaboration, and leveraging local expertise would go a long way in strengthening the delivery of legal aid services across the region. Much can be learned from this country for a simple reason, that we are a diverse country. Different regions, different cultures, different languages, and access to legal aid, fortunately with leadership we have at the moment in judiciary, is taking care of all these, and it is turning out to be very seamless. The countries of Global South would do well to closely study the actions which India has taken in these areas and apply them to their countries by customizing. India's presidency of G20, its contribution of $25 million to the Social Impact Fund to support the implementation of digital public infrastructure in countries of the Global South, and the two Voice of Global South summits hosted by Prime Minister Modi, and these stand as a powerful testament to India's final commitment to the cause of Global South. Friends, just few years back, no one was even aware about Global South. It fell to the lot of India's Prime Minister to bring it at center stage, in a forum which is primarily dominated by developed countries. And the success that has been achieved by inclusion of African Union side by side the European Union is remarkable, very equitable. Friends, this conference serves as a platform for sharing experiences, devising solutions, and crafting a better future, particularly for those in the Global South. We have a deep emotive connect as a nation with the nations of Global South, culturally and otherwise. The negative aspects of colonial rule bind us together. We have suffered through the ages. We have to mitigate suffering by learning from each other. Our country, at the moment, as already indicated, is on a rise that is unstoppable, a rise that is phenomenal, a rise that has been acclaimed by the world. International Monetary Fund has reckoned India as a favorite global destination of investment and opportunity. World Bank has appreciated our digital movement to be emulated by others. If I reel out statistics, you will be amazed. In 2022, our digital transactions were 4 times the combined transactions of US, UK, France, and Germany. Our per capita internet consumption is more than that of China and US taken together. Imagine in a country like ours, where 110 million farmers thrice a year can get funds directly into their accounts. It is not significant that the government can do it. What is more significant, and I say it as son of a farmer, that the farmer is equipped to receive it. And this has made India governance transparent and accountable as a norm. Global South countries can learn a lot from this country. How to secure zero accommodation for corruption, neutralizing power corridors, power brokers who extra legally leverage the decision making in commercial field, they have totally disappeared. These are not easy tasks, easy objectives to be achieved. India has done it. From that perspective, I take this gathering as a strong beginning, a small step that will help us take a big leap. Through idea exchange, through ideation, best practice exploration, and partnership forging, we can pave the way for innovative approaches, ensuring access to justice for all. There was a time when countries of Global South and countries like Bharat used to look at other countries in the, what we say, North. They used to settle our agenda. Now, Bharat has emerged as settler of agenda at a global level. Friends, let us therefore, in togetherness, reimagine legal aid, harnessing technology, empowering communities, and bridging the gap between legal services and those in need. Let's strive for a world where justice is fundamental right, accessible to all, regardless of background, circumstances, or location. I welcome foreign delegates to this country to learn firsthand that India's civilizational ethos are marked with global welfare. We have treated over the ages our Bharat as part of globe, and the entire globe as our family. And this was demonstrated by India when the world faced pandemic COVID. Facing pandemic challenge in our country, about 100 countries were assisted by this country by supply of co-vaccine. So India's ethos are now translated into a ground reality impacting the entire world wholesomely. Rise of Global South would constitute, according to me, the greatest stabilizing force for the world, and it will generate growth trajectory of the world, control it, gallop it, and sustain it. Friends, drawing inspiration from the Global South's legal traditions and cultural values, let's forge a path towards a world where justice reigns, marginalized voices are heard, and equality is realized for all. We don't have to go far. Father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, reflected on all these issues. He believed in a system by indicating the planet has everything for everyone's need, but not for greed. Now these are the relations which we can have bonding, far more qualitatively penetrating than bonding with the countries in the north. Our alliance, therefore, has been developing organically. It's natural, authentic. I am so glad that this initiative has been taken. It will take us a far way. The deliberations in the conference will pave way for forward stance. Friends, I conclude by indicating deprivation of access to justice system, denial of legal aid, offer existential challenge to the vulnerable, to the weaker sections. And we have to neutralize these challenges by affirmative policies and initiatives to secure justice for them. There couldn't be a more impactful beginning of this than the place where we are at the moment. I conclude by congratulating the Supreme Court of India for bringing about change of mindset, game-changing policies, and making Supreme Court virtually available to everyone in the country in virtual mode. Thank you so much for your patience and time. Jai Bharat.